All right, welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Man, oh man. I hope the Botham Jean's family members, the brother that ran over to give Guyger, the woman that had killed his innocent brother, a hug and said that he had forgiven her and didn't want her to go to prison. He just wanted her to give her life to Jesus Christ. I hope he understands the magnitude of what took place and what they have contributed towards, right? I understand that he felt the need to do that because he felt like it would unburden his soul. But I think that there was something more sinister at work here. I'm beginning to think they were probably threatened and coerced. That family was. And then that is why we saw the buffoonery acting on television or in the courts at her sentencing. Anyways, Joshua Brown. So somebody hit me up last night. They said, SouFLo, haven't you seen it? Right after the trial, this guy is gunned down after the sentencing. All right, my SouFLoTV audience, once again, it's all about Father and Sons TV. Yes, Father and Sons TV. I am proud to present to you Father and Sons TV. This is my brother. He's located in the UK, and he goes around with his sons and sometimes by himself asking people trick questions. It's a really funny show for a good laugh. And check this out. The content is clean. I'm talking about family material clean. You know them shows where you can sit and watch with your grandmother and you don't have to worry that grandma gonna say, Lord of mercy, is what kind of cuss word and dirty language them using in this. I don't want to hear this, man. In the name of Jesus. You don't have to worry about that, right? You can watch this with your children because children are involved. And I guarantee you your children can relate to his children, right? So this is a family affair. Father and Sons TV. Remember, as we over here at SouFLoTV say family, don't it? We say family like popcorn. Family. We say family. All right, so that means that you go and support your family. This is my family. I'm asking you to go and like, comment, share, subscribe on the channel, and let him know in the comment section. I came here because of SouFLoTV. Big up yourself. SouFLoTV sent me. I promise you, you will enjoy the content anyways. Me, I travel vicariously by other people's channel. So there are places in the world I haven't been yet, even though I have been to London. I lived there for a while. But you can actually go and watch the channel and get a vibe for the English accent, the way how people interact. Enough people think ain't no black people in England too. That's another thing for you to see. All right, just how people live and interact. It's a fun, loving channel. Father and Sons TV. Tell them that SouFLoTV sent you. All right, and don't forget when you go over there to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, I'm out. Joshua Brown, the key witness in Amber Guyger murder trial and the neighbor of Botham Jean, shot to death in Dallas, is what CNN headline says. Here's the funny thing. All along, people were saying, wow, Amber must have went to his apartment door because she lives directly across the hall from him, or maybe right beside him. So you stumble one door extra down. You know, we do that sometimes. But to find out that she lived on a completely different floor made no sense. Funny enough, Joshua Brown is the person that lived directly across from Botham Jean, okay? And it was his testimony that helped to seal that guilty verdict, and they did not like that, obviously. Now, when he said that this was his testimony, that he was on his way in. I don't know if he was coming home from work, but he was on his way back into his apartment, coming down the hallway, when he heard what sounded like two people had met by surprise. You know what that sounds like. Oh, what are you doing in here? That kind of thing. What are you doing in here? Bow, bow. He testified in court that that's what he heard. He went into his apartment, closed the door, and looked through his peephole, which was directly across. and he testified in court that instead of giving CPR or any kind of resuscitative treatment to the victim, she actually got on her cell phone. And the court records now show that she was texting with the other officer that she was having an affair with and erasing other messages, voice notes, text messages from her phone to cover evidence, as well as she was calling 911 for help, right? Now, the funny thing now is this brother is gone. And after watching him on the stand, I watched him testify and I watched him cry, right, on the stand. And I said to myself at the time, I said, this brother looks uneasy. He looks like something is wrong. He looks like he knows something more. And of course, days later, he is gunned down. Now I'm thinking that uneasiness that I saw was probably him on the stand realizing, oh, damn. Oh, man, they're coming for me. I was threatened. I was told not to, and I did. And now I can see that it's real. They're coming for me. I'm scared. But I had to do this for Botham Jean because he was a good guy. All I heard that man singing over there was like gospel music and all this other stuff. Anyways, CNN has it that a man who was a key witness in the murder trial of the former Dallas police officer Amber Guyger was fatally shot Friday in the parking lot of his apartment complex, according to attorney Lee Merritt. So the apartment complex where he was shot turns out to be not the one where Botham Jean was shot at, not the one he lived at directly across the hall from Botham Jean. Apparently, he had moved out of that apartment complex and moved to somewhere else. Now, this brother has tattoo on his neck and all this other stuff, and his image looks a bit rough. And someone might say, yep, it looks like a street boy and this kind of stuff. But he was actually a very progressive, productive individual, well-spoken, very educated, and all that other stuff. So Joshua Brown is his name. He was the neighbor of the shooting victim, Botham Jean, and I explained to you earlier, he lived directly across the hall from him and could see clear view that door. He was the neighbor of Botham Jean at the Southside Flats apartment. So Jean was sitting in his unit in September of 2018 when Guyger walked inside and shot him to death. He was sitting in his unit, eating ice cream, watching TV. Brown says he lived directly across the hall from Jean, and that's what the rental records and police records shows. Merritt, attorney for Jean's family, told CNN that he spoke to Brown's mother, who confirmed the death. Kimberly Leach, spokesperson for Dallas County District Attorney John Cruzalt, also confirmed late Saturday that Brown was the victim in the shooting. Dallas police responded to a call for a shooting in the area, in the Atera apartment complex around 10:30 p.m. Friday evening, police told CNN. Officers were flagged down by witnesses who directed them to Brown, who was laying on the ground of the apartment parking lot with multiple gunshot wounds to his body. Brown was transported to the Parkland Memorial Hospital, where he died from his injuries, according to a statement from the Dallas Police Department. Witnesses told police that they heard several gunshots and then they saw a silver four-door sedan speed out of the parking lot, police said. Check this part. There is no suspect information at this time, police said. Now, I'm thinking that these apartment complexes would at least have some kind of CCTV set up in the parking lot area so they could see if anyone was vandalizing the cars of their residents, so on and so forth. We will be following this one closely, right? Merritt wrote in a Facebook, which is the attorney for the Botham Jean family, wrote in a Facebook post Saturday night that the medical examiners told him, get this part, that Brown was shot in the mouth and chest. The chest was to kill him. This is my words. The chest was to finish him off. The mouth was keep your mouth shut. You should never have said anything. What do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section below on that part. He was shot in the mouth and the chest. So he was ambushed at his apartment complex as he got out of his vehicle, and he was shot at close range. This is someone that did not want to miss and came to do a hit. Merritt wrote, adding that Brown's mother asked him to do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of her son's murder. She suspects foul play, and it is difficult to rule out, Merritt wrote. He had no known enemies. He worked for a living. He was not in the streets. We need answers immediately. He said it could have been him. Brown said during his testimony that he originally, listen to this part. Brown said during his testimony in the Amber Guyger trial case for the murder of Botham Jean that he originally came from Jacksonville, Florida, and had moved to Texas in 2008. He attended college in Southern Florida, where he studied interdisciplinary sciences. He tried to play football after college, but got into roofing instead. He says that he was a roofing contractor for a few years. At the time of his testimony, Brown said he was managing 4 Airbnbs in Los Angeles, Atlanta, and Dallas. Merritt said that Brown lived in constant fear of gun violence, and that's why he was so emotional on the witness stand during the trial. He said it could have been him, because if she went into the wrong apartment right across the hall from Jean's apartment, you could understand how someone who is very paranoid and thinking, man, I don't want to be the next victim because they kill black guys out here like crazy and they always get away with it, you know? And then to see it come so close to home for you, that would leave me a bit shook, right? Was he the intended target in the first place? Was Amber supposed to be a hitman and she freaked up and went into the wrong apartment? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm trying to think outside the box. Merritt said Brown lived in constant fear of violence, and that is why he was so emotional on the stand. This part right here, though, gets me. He said it could have been him, Merritt said. Merritt wrote in a Facebook post that Brown's murder underscores the reality of the black experience in America. Brown lived in constant fear that he would be the next victim of gun violence, either state-sanctioned or otherwise, he wrote. Now, why would this young man, have such fear that his life would end violently by gun violence, by state sanction? Now, forget the otherwise part, but by state sanction? Oh, man. So soon after, from his apartment balcony, Brown testified that he met Jean the day he was killed. Because, you know, we live in America in our apartments, and we don't normally talk to each other like that. You go to apartment 1, I go to apartment 2, and I don't speak to you. I might see you in the hall and say, hey, man, you all right? Or how you doing? Not even you all right, just good evening, and I'll keep it moving. Brown testified that he met Jean the day of the killing, the day he was killed. And he said that he was down the hall from his apartment when he heard the voices of 2 people who sounded like they were meeting by surprise. The gunshots followed right after, he said. Soon after, from his apartment balcony, Brown said he saw Guyger come out to the hallway from Jean's apartment on the phone. She was crying, explaining what happened, what she thought happened, saying she came into the wrong apartment, he said. Related article, murder trial focuses on whether Dallas policewoman did enough to save the man she shot in his own apartment. And then Through his peephole, Brown said he also saw the former officer going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on the phone, which means she was rendering no first aid to the guy she just shot. And then I think she went back inside again, then came back out again, Brown said, who lived across the hall from Jean. During testimony, Brown broke down and wiped his tears away with his t-shirt. No one came up to him and gave him paper towel or napkins to sap his tears like they did for Guyger. He was crying and no one cared. He wiped away his tears with his t-shirt. Jean's family member could be heard crying softly also in the background as Brown testified. Guyger, who was 31, the female that was found guilty of murder on Wednesday, was given 10 years in prison. She will be eligible for parole in 5 years, and I am absolutely sure that she will make parole and she will be out. And she will probably come home to a huge GoFundMe account and never have to work again. The ex-officer said that she mistakenly walked into the wrong apartment and in her complex and opened fire because she thought that Jean sitting there eating ice cream on his couch was actually a burglar in her apartment. This was taken from CNN. Elliot C. McLaughlin and Darren Simon contributed to this report via news on CNN Online. It's SouFLoTV. I think I've said enough here. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Listen to the details of what I just said. And leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm still wondering, where's that woman? I remember there's a woman that lived, I believe, directly across from where Botham Jean's apartment was, but one floor down. So she was able to see up and directly at the door. And it was a mid-age white woman. And she had used her phone to record a video of Amber at the door before she entered and after and during. And this woman actually went to the media instead of going to the police first. And when asked why she did that, she said because she was scared and she did not trust the police department and she wanted some kind of, and you know, I'm wondering, how come she never testified? How come she never testified? But now we know why people are afraid to testify. Now, could it be possibly that this was just some random shooting, that he was pounced upon by robbers who tried to rob him, ended up shooting him in the mouth after testifying against a police officer, ex-police officer that got her time in prison? Or could it be that this is connected? Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.